I would like to use this video as an opportunity to talk about a problem related to this particular conflict zone, Taurian corridor, which is like House Davion's border with the Taurian Concordat, which is the periphery state. So here is the problem. I do like this conflict zone a lot because we've got some great contracts in here, well-paid contracts, and I also like because we've got the most challenging missions in here. It's a fairly challenging conflict zone, but there is a huge problem with it. And the problem is the lack of any nearby industrial hubs. Because if I were to travel from here to the nearest industrial hub, it's gonna take me a whopping 76 days. This is the nearest industrial hub. You see, it's gonna take 76 days to travel, right? It's gonna take more than that to travel here or here, obviously, and any of these industrial hubs, which are, by the way, good industrial hubs, they are out of range. You see, I can't even like 90 days and more. So this is a huge problem with this conflict zone. So in case if developers happen to watch this video someday, or if any of you guys could please share this with them, we need an additional industrial hub somewhere over here. Because also when you're playing, let's say, when you're fighting Capellan Confederation in this area, this is also sort of remotely located from this these industrial hubs over here. And then speaking of these industrial hubs, I do like them. Sometimes you can get some really good mechs there and weapon, but the problem is, like, there are just way too many of them. Way too many of them concentrated in this distant area from any major conflict zones. Plus, it's gonna take you almost a year to visit every single one of them, which is absolutely unnecessary. It's absolutely unnecessary to have so many of them concentrated in this small area. Instead, I would advise relocate some of this industrial hub to somewhere over here in this area. All right. And also the House Davion has been fighting the Capellan Confederation and Taurian Concordat for quite some time. Why wouldn't they have at least one or two industrial hubs somewhere over here? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, on the other hand, speaking of Taurian Concordat, this periphery state, this is actually quite a powerful periphery state. Because when you look at the history of this state, they've been fighting very hard and quite heroically for their independence from Star League and from great houses. They really value their identity, and they are quite patriotic, and they are also sophisticated. They are pretty much self-sufficient. That's why they didn't wanna pay any taxes to Star League. They just wanted to be there, live there on their own, and they fought really hard for them. And they are actually pretty badass. They indeed, they are pretty self-sufficient. They even manufactured their own mechs and warships, spaceships, jump ships, anything. And during Star League era, during the reunification wars, they almost killed Kerensky while piloting his Atlas. So they're pretty badass. And for that matter, my thinking is like, why wouldn't they have at least one industrial hub somewhere over here in their state? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why when we are using this, why when we are fighting in this combat area, we have to fly all the way over there to repair, let's say, some salvaged mechs and doing some refits, because repair cost, as you can see, and repair time in this area is quite extensive. It's like plus 115 and 135%. So it just doesn't make any sense not to have at least one industrial hub on either of these sides. Because speaking of the periphery states, for instance, when you take a look at the other famous periphery state, Magistracy of Canopus, which is right here, and which is, by the way, where my previous mission took place, campaign mission, which was in this conflict zone. They do have their own industrial hub, which is located on Hardcore. You see, this is the entertainment world. This is where you've played a couple of campaign missions while fighting alongside Duncan Fisher during Solaris Showdown campaign. This is an entertainment world, and they have some pretty great arena contracts, by the way, and pretty great industrial hub as well, where you can find actually pretty great weapons and pretty great mechs too. So they do have this one industrial hub in there, so why can't this badass Taurian Concordant have any industrial hub here as well? So that's my thinking. We do need to have at least, you know, one or two industrial hubs somewhere around here, on House Davion side, or at least one industrial hub in the Taurian Concordant territory. So that would be my advice for the developers. Please let me know if you would agree with me on that in the comments, or disagree for that matter. Maybe I'm just you know, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about.